Alright, can I get back into the forex market and trade the same way I was trading crypto for the past few years during this bull rally? Well, let's find out. How's it going, muchachos? Welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, like and subscribe buttons to my channel. It costs you absolutely nothing. Nothing in here is a financial advice, as always, just sharing my trades and knowledge. Today, I want to do a quick breakdown of the latest 3 trade callouts on the Forex inside my Discord. This is just going to be an educational one. So once again, to analyze these 3 swings, to do a breakdown in the supply and demand way. As you already know, crypto market is quite boring, choppy, full of uncertainty, and I wanted to get back into the Forex market because I do believe you have to know how to use your instruments, your knowledge of your technical analysis to identify all of those important key levels, your trading strategy in the different markets. If you want to jump from the crypto market into the forex market, from the forex market into the stock market or the futures market, it doesn't matter. You have to be able to adapt to the environment and start trading. What if you want to decide to change your career from the crypto trader to the forex trader? So for those who are following me closely, I announced even earlier that I'm focusing on a forex, and especially these 3 tickers, these 3 forex pairs. Euro USD, the godfather of the forex. Everybody likes to trade Euro USD, GBP USD, and USD JPY because they were forming, in my eyes, an A+ setups based on my trading strategy. An A+ swings has been formed on Euro USD, GBP USD, and USD JPY. So right now, let's dive in. I announced inside my Discord that I'm focusing right now on these 3 setups in the forex market. Those are the screenshots. Respect the privacy. I'm not going to open the full Discord right here. And yeah, Euro USD, USD JPY, and GBP USD. So right now, let's just talk about each one of them step by step. But first, what type of tools, what type of instruments I'm going to use to identify my supply and demand strategy here in the forex market? And the question is, can I transfer myself of being for the past few years a crypto trader once again into the forex market? Maybe the forex market's changed. I have no idea. I need to figure it out. That is why I jump into a forex market, to test the water. So what type of tools I'm using every single time to identify supply and demand? Of course, I'm using this horizontal line tool to identify most important key levels. I'm using, once again, supply, demand. Here, a supply. Of course, I'm not that accurate, but let me just supply and demand levels, all of those boxes to identify at what key levels, so what boxes, where I need to enter a trade, where I need to focus the most, Also a Fibonacci levels for an extra confirmation, because I trust Fibonacci tools based on that algorithm that is inside Fibonacci's. Like it or not, I'm using trend lines to identify a higher lows in what direction the market is heading. And once again, the most important thing for me is to identify those impulsive movements to the downside or to the upside. After the consolidation, boom, a nipple to the upside. That identifies me that this data is strong, the data is here. And for example, if I'm using this the whole consolidation mode to identify a potential demand, I just want to see a retest. I'm just trying to identify where I can see the retest. Where's the probability? Where's the highest probability having set up a trade, an entry point, whatever. It doesn't freaking matter. I'm just using this as an extra confirmation. Patterns, trend lines, Fibonacci tools. More confirmation I have, the more confident I am. The more touch points we have, the more confirmation we have. So right now, step by freaking step. Once again, don't forget that we're chasing for those impulsive candles to the upside or to the downside. If I'm seeing an impulsive movement to the downside, I'm changing the whole game plan. I'm focusing more on sell short opportunities. But right now, all of those 3 trades I was focusing more on buy longs because the markets were trending up. Step by step, I want to talk about the USD JPY. It's a little bit more advanced one because it was a little bit choppy, but the data was clear. And I wasn't following my game plan, because sometimes I'm questioning myself, am I following my game plan correctly, because the data was a little bit different that I'm using. I mean, I'm always focusing on, because I was using, for example, on my entry confirmation the premium zone, but then I was using in the golden zone. So the thing is this, I was still right. So am I got lucky? Well, I don't think so. Just it matters of the experience, you know. So let's just jump straight into USD GPY. All right, straight on the higher time frame, on the daily time frame, to identify the bias. And of course, from the time scale, I'm using 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hour, and most definitely the daily time frame to identify in what direction the market is heading. So where's my screenshot from the Discord USD JPY? I told you that I'm focusing more on this setup because we printed some kind of fair value gap. In my experience, there is no such thing as a fair value gap. The order block, I'm using the terms supply and demand, so deal with it. So at the end of the day, my job is just to make money and to be right about my technical analysis. If I'm wrong, I'm accepting being wrong, but at the end of the day, I'm using the different terms. So yes, the demand, all this gap was sitting at approximately here, and I was focusing on this zone. So looks interesting, but still lacks confirmation. So the confirmation I needed here to print a higher low, and we're gonna see what happened. So we don't have an impulsive movement, so I haven't seen an impulsive movement, only those 3 candles in a row. So I trusted those candles as a one and only impulsive movement that I had, because the market was trending up, everything was in the bullish momentum, and right now on the 1 hour time frame we have this bearish momentum, but on the daily time frame we're still bullish. So I'm looking for some kind of bounce. I'm just hunting for some kind of bounce, and my entry point was in general looking for a bounce at like approximately at those levels. So right now, step by step on a daily time frame, you cannot deny that we're just like not in the bullish momentum. Keep printing higher lows, keep printing higher lows. After this consolidation, an impulsive movement to the upside. So how cool is that? Higher lows, higher lows. We are in this freaking bullish momentum. I cannot deny that. So I need to focus more on those buy long opportunities, unless the trend is just shifting from a bearish, from the bullish, boom, seeing some kind of breakdown from the key level and changing the whole game from a bullish into the bearish one. So right now, step by step, as I identify in what direction the market is heading, I want to jump on the 4 hour time frame. Let me just zoom in and let me just make this window more wider and more cleaner for you to see. So once again, I'm using this impulsive movement. I use this impulsive movement to identify from my swing highs to our lows what just happened, and after seeing this retracement, I'm looking where we need to see some kind of bounce. And this bounce was at approximately this support, or I can call this as a demand zone, because the more touch points we have, the more confirmation we have. Also at here, at some point it was our resistance. Right now this is our potential support. You see at this turbulence, this manipulated move, liquidity sweep, it doesn't matter, you call it whatever you want, but that was that impulsive movement that I tried to focus most, because I couldn't see anything right now here. So that is why I said this is just a little bit more advanced. And right now, look, on a higher time frame we're bullish, but right now on the lower time frame, on the 1 hour time frame and the 4 hour time frame, we're bearish. We're inside this bearish momentum. So I want to see some kind of bounce, and we did see the bounce. The bounce was at approximately here, and another higher low has been printed. So let's just jump straight into 1 hour time frame. Let me just zoom in, make this the whole market structure picture more wider. All right, step by step, what do we see? Inside this bearish momentum, at some point, we saw a bounce. And alongside with this bounce, we printed a double bottom pattern, which is another quite good confirmation that the market structure is just right now is trying to shift from a bearish into the bullish. I'm not gonna include this liquidity sweep. I'm not gonna include that because we're looking on the higher time frame, and I'm focusing more on those juicy swings, not on the like a 5 or 15 minute time frame. So we broke the whole structure after printing that. All right, we found a bottom, we found the resistance, got that liquidity, and saw a breakout. We change the whole structure, change of character, or as I like to say, a GC, a game changer. Of course, I can use your terms if you want. Change of character. We broke the whole structure from a bearish into the bullish, potentially, but we don't know that. Because why? I want to see a higher low to be printed, because if we broke the whole structure and after the retest we're printing a higher low, my confidence just increasing, because there's right now a high chance to see the breakout to the upside. I mean, in general, a rally to the upside. Of course, I'm using this trend line as a compass in the middle of the freaking forest by jumping from the crypto market into the forex market, because trend lines in the forex market, especially Solana, Ethereum, I cannot say the same on the Bitcoin, but still on those nice and juicy cap coins, the trend lines are pretty clean. They're quite respectful, they're respecting those highs and lows, and the more touch points we have, the more confirmation we have. After connecting those trend lines at the top and at the bottom, this is how those patterns, falling wedge patterns, rising wedge patterns, symmetrical triangles has been formed after seeing the multiple confirmation. And we're trying to connect all of those trend lines at the top and at the bottom. So right now, let's just get back to business. As we saw a bounce from this demand that we have, and from our completely, let's just see once again, even from here, from those lows to those highs, from those lows, local lows and highs, the naked premium Fibonacci level sits at approximately here. And I thought that one way or another, this is my process of thoughts, one way or another, even if we're gonna grab that liquidity, because we're sitting at the very important key level that illustrates a support, because everybody see that support because multiple confirmations here, we're definitely gonna get that liquidity. So I'm still need to navigate based on this premium zone. But again, I need to see some kind of extra confirmation. I cannot jump into the trade blindly here. If I'm going to use a tight stop loss, I could be wiped out pretty quickly here. So I used Fibonacci level after identifying swing lows and highs here after breaking the whole structure from my lows to highs. The golden zone was sitting at approximately this, the starting point inside this gap. But why not at the premium zone? Because everything was perfectly aligned here at the golden zone. Sometimes I'm trusting the golden zone if the correlation and the connection is here, and by printing a higher low, it looks like a better chance for us to see a retest at the premium, at the golden zone is there. That is why I trusted this golden zone and a rally to the upside. And by using this descending trend, what it tells me that there's right now a probability, by using trend line trading strategy, the naked trend line strategy, naked, like a blind, like if we're using only the trend lines, right now the probability is there for me to see some kind of breakout through this trend line and a rally to the upside. Of course, I announced the same supply zones, those key levels that I mark with the dotted lines. Those are the most important key levels, and upcoming supply zones, my take profit targets, because this is like, those are the levels that we need to focus on, because we need to be aware, because we can see some kind of rejection after seeing here supply, and here supply. I focus here on taking profits at those levels, and right now we got rejected from our last supply. So if you were holding this whole swing entire time, you could be executed. You could execute this pretty nice and clean. So that was like a clean call out. I liked it. I like the market structure. I like the game changer. I like. How many more confirmations do you need? The premium zone on the higher time frame is there. On the higher time frame, we're bullish. From our swing lows to our highs, the golden zone sits at approximately this impulsive movement. Break of structure again. Higher low has been printed, descending trend has been broken, or has the probability, if I'm looking from this point, the probability is there to see a breakout. We even, why this demand zone is valid, we even retested this twice. How cool is that? So at the end of the day, supply and demand strategy works. Focus on these type of setups, focus on an A+ setups, and on those nice and juicy, let's just call it a long-term swings, So this one was executed. Right now, let's just jump into the second one, because the second one will be not what you expect. So GBP USD. I announced that I'm focusing on those two levels, but of course, not this one, but this one was my priority because, well, I'm gonna show you, just bear with me. GBP/USD, keeping my eyes on these two levels and waiting for a rebound at approximately this and this and this level, and approximately here. I'll need more confirmation once the price reaches those areas. The same confirmation that I was waiting on the USD JPY. Unfortunately, what that illustrates me and illustrates you that not every single time you're gonna catch a trade. Not every single time the price will reach your zone. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, or even sometimes you miss the trade because the price hasn't reached my demand zone. This is the zone. We printed higher lows, and I thought that we can get a retest at approximately here. This is the zone where we see multiple confirmations. Of course, the market triggered me, and I would say that this middle one, the impulsive candle, was the perfect demand, but I wasn't able to identify, so I was focusing more on the capital preservation. So I missed the trade. Who cares? I mean, I didn't lose, I didn't win, and yeah, this is just it. So this illustrates me and illustrates you especially, that not every single time you're gonna catch that trade. Sometimes your entry point won't be triggered, sometimes your entry point will be triggered, and getting that sweet and quick stop loss to be triggered. At the end of the day, like, just risk management. That's it. Risk management and play by the rules. So, but by looking at this setup, or let's just see it previous setup, we can learn from this trade, or let's just say in general setup, at what market structure we need to look in the future to enter a trade and to answer that question, that if the supply and demand works in the forex market. Right now, looking on the daily time frame, on a massive time frame, can I say that we are quite bullish? I guess so. We're quite bullish, or at least we can start seeing at some point a rebound, because I like to chase those. I like to chase for those rebounds. Sometimes I'm even going against the trend because I do believe that we can get some kind of rebound, you know. And from this low, because those three impulsive candles at the daily time frame, I mean, that's just like, I cannot identify this, so I need some extra confirmation. From our swing lows to the high, the premium zone was respected. The premium freaking zone was respected, and the demand here was valid. So now, let me just get this back and mark this down for the future. All right, I marked down the premium zone. I'm jumping back on the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we bounced back up from the premium zone. We broke the whole freaking structure once again. So for those who were laughing me that I'm chasing every single time for the break of structure method, well, this is just like pure evidence right here in front of your face. So game of changer, let's just call it the change of character. It doesn't freaking matter what type of terms you're using. The demand was here. By following those impulsive candles, I marked down this demand, a rally to the upside, but I'm trusting the daily time frame's premium zone. But if the premium zone was here and we saw a bounce, it is like a little chance for us to see a lower low, and especially when we broke the whole structure. So that is why at this zone I'm waiting for a freaking higher low. So this is the setup that we can learn from it. Of course, I didn't took it. My entry point wasn't triggered back here. And I mean, in general, that was the best entry point for you fellas. We even retested this twice by grabbing the liquidity. By grabbing the liquidity, we even retested this freaking twice. Let's just see on the 1-hour time frame, what do we have? What do we have? Just like a quick educational one by back testing the data that we have on these charts. Relative to the upside manipulation. We saw this impulsive movement. You can use this as a freaking gap, or let's just say even the third time the premium zone was triggered. But this is not my trading strategy, but when you're analyzing the data, I mean, yeah, I couldn't be like entering also when I'm analyzing the lower time frame, but it's just not me. I'm looking for a higher time frame swing. So this impulsive movement that I couldn't be relying on but I wouldn't be like taking this one. This is not my trading strategy. I don't like it. I'm not feeling confident because I don't trust it and I don't understand it that quite well. So once again, on the 4-hour time frame, that in my eyes, that was the best entry point. The main question is stop losses, but this is just a different story because where I need to put my stop losses, you know. So that is the main point. That's the main key point. You need to working on it to understand when and how to enter your, after entering a trade, where to put your stop losses, because from our swing lows to our highs, the premium zone quite got disrespected. Well, not every single time your premium or the golden zone will be respected like from the manual, you know, fellas, but the choppiness, the bottom of the daily time frame where we can see the bounce, so the manipulation was there, the turbulence was there. So yeah, but at the end of the day, I like the forex market structure right now when the crypto market is totally trash. The altcoins are dead, Bitcoin and Ethereum doing absolutely nothing, Solana is doing nothing. So I'm enjoying seeing and analyzing and trading forex market right now at this point. So yeah, supply and demand strategy works, following those impulsive movements, but yeah, nothing has been triggered. But at the end of the day, everything is quite works on the GBP USD. Right now, let's just jump on the third one, Euro, your USD, the godfather of the forex. Everybody likes to trade, the most popular ticker, the most popular pair in the forex market. On a daily time frame, when we were here, I don't want to do a replay mode, so don't even mind this rally to the upside. Let's just focus at this zone, and we cannot deny once again that we are not bullish. Higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, over and over and over again. What we do, we're trading with the trend. We're focusing more on the buy long setups. So, and also to identify those impulsive movements that I also like to chase was quite easier this time than on USD JPY. So I can call myself lucky on the USD JPY, but who cares? I was right and I don't care. I just don't want to go in I just don't want to go into this philosophier thing. So, and once again, trend lines, just trying to identify swing high, swing lows, trying to see where the touch point. I mean, like, yeah, we broke the trend line. That is why I'm not relying on those trend lines in the forex market, because fellas, try to use trend lines in the forex market as a compass, not as a confirmation, because crypto market is a little bit more cleaner in my eyes. So that is why I like to, and I trust trend lines in the forex, I mean in the crypto market, most definitely on the Solana and Ethereum. Forex market, still everything dominates here based on the supply and demand. So everything was bullish, even right now we are still bullish. Right now, let's just jump on the 1 hour time frame. All right, this is where the magic happens. I believe you're following what I'm saying, you know. Always comment down below your opinion. I like to read. I'm gonna reply to all of your comments, fellas. This impulsive movement illustrates me that after seeing this rally to the upside, all right, we can call this manipulated move. Boom, rally to the upside. You can call this a gap. I'm called a demand. I want to see some kind of extra confirmation, you know, from those lows to those highs. All right, muchachos, just please, when you're chasing for those A+ setups, look at this freaking premium zone. The premium zone was respected, and I want you to imagine, this is just going to be a quick educational one for those who haven't seen my Fibonacci videos. 0.5 and 0.618, the golden zone, it says if we're seeing retracement at those levels, the probability is there. The probability is there to see a bounce. If the price is retesting the premium zone, the probability is even higher. Because if we're going to see a breakdown from this premium zone, the market structure is changing completely. Turbulence, manipulation, or it changes completely. Most of the time it changes from a bullish into the bearish, and this zone has been invalidated at some point. So even the premium zone, this gray zone, represents a demand zone in my eyes. Right now, let's jump straight into a 30-minute time frame. This is where I'm seeing the choppiness and more confirmation for my entries. And yeah, by using trendline, once again, I'm just trying to navigate and I'm trying to identify. Look at this breakout. Didn't happen. We still needed to see the retest, you know? So sometimes, please get this into your brain that be cautious with those trend lines. Be very careful. Don't rely on every single breakout, especially in the forex market. I'm not talking about the different environment or about the different markets, but this is a forex market. You can get wiped out pretty quickly because the competition in this market is high. It is high and it's brutal. So after identifying that this zone, let me just quickly delete that, the wrong one. After identifying that this impulsive movement is my premium zone, and I'm seeing the multiple touch points and multiple bounces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, even 7 touch points here at the bottom, where I need to enter a trade. I announced to my people that I'm looking for some kind of bounce at approximately here when I'm going to see some kind of confirmation. Of course, that was a little bit more dangerous one. And I told you fellas that I want to see some kind of retest and a rebound from the top, because from our swing lows to, from our highs to lows, the premium supply zone sits at approximately here. But at some point, the game was changing from a bearish into the bullish. The daily time frame, the higher time frame is bullish. Right now we are on the 1 and 30-minute time frame, which is bearish, and I'm waiting for some kind of rebound. I'm waiting for the rebound. Look what just happened. All right, we saw the bounce. We didn't even broke the whole structure clean like on the USD JPY here. We saw the rejection from the supply. And of course, if you took this trade from here to here, congratulations, and comment down below if you made it. And yeah, we saw the rejection from here. We saw a bounce once again from here, and this is the high, the latest lower high that we created. If we're gonna break through that high, that means we're changing the whole game from a bearish into the bullish. That's what happened. We saw a rally, we saw the accumulation here, a rally to the upside, a breakout, liquidate all the trendline traders, movement to the downside. And if I'm taking the whole chunk from my latest low to the high, or even here some point, it doesn't matter, the premium zone got the respect, and this accumulation of demand also could be valid as your extra confirmation where you need to enter a trade based on the supply and demand. Insane rally to the upside. Of course, where's my screenshot from my Discord? I didn't, to be honest, I didn't give you an exact target points because this post was followed by USD JPY, the same pivot points on these charts as we saw on the USD JPY. Every single time, how to let's just call it ATP, this impulsive, this supply, you see the turbulence, those are the zones that we need to be aware of. This zone could be, or even this zone, because we saw the multiple confirmation. You see, after touching that, sweep that liquidity from those highs. Those are the zones that could be valid, or just like could be like our exit point, for us to secure our gains. And what I didn't expect, that sometimes my expectations could be lower than we can get. That is why every single time, if you're entering a trade, and for example, I like the strategy, if you're entering a trade from here, let's just say, this is just an example, if you're entering from here and your exit point would be, your take profit target would be those highs, leave some 10 or 5% of those, let's just say, leftovers, because no one knows how high we can go. Look at this rally. We just shredded. Comment down below who took this trade and hold this till the end, or maybe we have some badasses over here. That would be awesome to see. So this is just illustrates and answers the question: is the supply demand still works in the forex market the same way as I was trading for the few years, 2, 3, 4 years in a row. I don't remember, I lost the count. Crypto market, because I want to get back into the forex. Yes, it works, only I need to make some few adjustments. The market could be a little bit choppy because the competition is there, a lot of manipulations. I need to anticipate that when I'm entering a trade and my entries and exits. I need to anticipate that. I need to get used to the new environment to anticipate what kind of rally we can get on USD JPY, on Euro USD, on different forex pairs. It doesn't matter, of course, those 3 tickers that I was always keeping my eyes on, because those are that has the most beautiful and the most steady price action, in my opinion. The most even on the 1 hour time frame, if you look on that, look at those moves, especially on GBP USD. That guy is a king. I mean, those nice and steady, not like in the crypto pow pow like you're doing this right now. So the thing is that supply and demand works if you understand how to identify, if you're using multiple confirmations, Fibonacci's, key levels, supply and demand. Well, you can use some trend lines if you want to, but yeah, you need to understand how to connect all of those touch points on the trend lines, etc. So the thing is that supply and demand works, and you'll be seeing me more in forex, and maybe we can do a live stream every Sunday before the Monday, what kind of opportunities we see in the forex market. Well, this is just a quick one for those who don't know, and for those who are following me most of the time on because of crypto. But yeah, you need to be able to identify all of those important key levels and all those sweet and juicy entry points, even in the forex market. I mean, on the futures market, stock market, you need to be able to adapt. What if that market is gonna, like, I don't know, completely dead? Who knows the future, you know? What if the environment is going to shift from completely nice and profitable rallies into the trash? We don't know that. But once again, my main message for you fellas, always focus on those A+ setups. Only on A+ setups. Only on A+ setups. Well, this is me. This is what I'm do. What you do with your money, I could care less. I mean, the thing is that I'm just showing you that I'm always focusing more on those long and nice juicy swings, a little bit more long term, so it could take even a few days to execute fully. And yeah, that is pretty much it. That is a quick educational one. Of course, nothing here is financial advice. If you're jumping from the crypto into the forex market, or from the forex market into the crypto, whatever, it doesn't matter, or into the stocks, please backtest, understand your environment, understand what you're dealing with. And yeah, and that is pretty much it. I'm gonna see you in the next one. I'm gonna see you on the next live stream. Peace out.